We are joined by Cooper Mays. This has been one of those interviews I've been trying to land for a while because we do love our offensive linemen here on this show, and this is the center of Tennessee's offensive line. And you've been doing this for quite some time. So 2 years ago I came, and it was you and Devontae Spraggins who are still here. Darnell Wright was here at the time. It feels like you guys, you had some time to really gel as a unit here.
For sure. I think I've kind of been reflecting on it. It's my last year here at Tennessee. So I've kind of been reflecting on it, man. I've been here for a long time. I've been getting my older brother has been getting recruited here since like 8th grade. So back when he's 2 years older than me. So I've been here since like 6th grade, every year in, year out.
Well, and you're local too. So I mean, everything has been, and there was the time when Cade was at Georgia, but you both wound up here and helped Tennessee get back to a place that I think, maybe you guys never saw as kids. I'm trying to think when you were born, like you did not see any of the glory years.
I grew up, so I was born 2001, so I haven't seen many high points.
Casey Clausen was the starting quarterback when you were born. Yeah. Wow.
Iceman, is that him?
The Iceman, that's right. Well, it's interesting because your family, I was thinking about this. So I heard some folks talking about your youngest brother, Camp. So for those who don't know, Cade Mays, older brother of Cooper, played at Georgia, then played here, now plays in the NFL, now is apparently trying to kill a turkey in every state.
Every state.
Okay. That's a good goal.
If you guys got land, hit them up.
If you got land and turkeys.
Yeah, land and turkeys. That would be a match made in heaven.
So then Cooper comes. Now you've got Camp Mays, who is the largest 8-year-old in Knox County, correct? Is that
correct?
Okay. Who's kind of the best of the both of you together.
I hope so.
Perfect offensive lineman.
That's the plan.
So when Casey was the starting, I covered the team for the Chattanooga paper when Casey was the starting quarterback here, and Casey's brother Rick was a good quarterback. He went up playing at LSU. I think he transferred here too. But then they had a 12-year-old younger brother, Jimmy. And even then, everybody's like, that's the guy. That's the one. And Jimmy wound up playing for Notre Dame and was a first-round draft pick. So, it's very similar situations here.
Yeah, I definitely – I talk about it. I don't tell much to him. I don't want to put pressure on him, but
as
I tell
an 8-year-old.
people – right, no pressure. But he's definitely got the red carpet for genetics. That's for sure.
Well, and okay, so I was told what the pictures look like of Camp versus his classmates. What are we talking about in terms of size difference here?
He's 8 and he's about 5'3", 150.
Wow.
So it's like, the same head and shoulders. He's got head and shoulders above everybody.
And so, that's the evolution of the Mays offensive line. What did you take from Cade, and then what have you developed while you're here that you can now pass on to Camp?
My biggest thing I learned from Cade's super aggressive dude, especially back in the day, when he was, in college, he was always fired up and ready to go kill somebody. So, I definitely took that from him, having that intensity and everything. But, what I've learned through college is you got to stay really grounded, and you got to be really even keel. There's a lot of ups and downs, highs and lows, but the more you can stay towards the middle and stay focused on what's important in life, that's the better you'll be.
Especially as a center, I would imagine, because of what you have to do every play, making sure everybody's where they need to be, making sure you don't see something, in the defense that maybe you didn't see, where they move into something where you got to communicate. How much do you have to control your emotions play to play to make sure you can communicate properly?
Yeah, it's definitely huge for any center, but especially in our offense here at Tennessee. I played in a slower speed offense my freshman year. I started a couple games and then, moved into the role here with this new offensive scheme. You don't have any time to focus on anything else but the job at hand. So, if you want to talk trash, if you want to get, sidetracked, that's not going to bode well for you.
This show is also sponsored by FanDuel. We were talking about all of this stuff, how all of this works just now. Well, you can go to FanDuel.com/Staples to sign up and receive $200 in bonus bets with a $5 bet. That's right. FanDuel.com/Staples. And you've got the NCAA tournament, men's and women's. You've got the NBA going on right now. MLB's getting started. All kinds of ways to add action to these games with FanDuel. And yeah, I said what I said earlier in the show. That doesn't change that you're going to be able to do this and you're going to be able to have fun with FanDuel. So go to FanDuel.com/Staples, $200 in bonus bets with a $5 bet. It's that easy. Get signed up, and you can put some action on whatever you want to put some action on.
Well, you move so fast. And, I know that they've got the helmet radio with the quarterback this year. I imagine that doesn't change much for you. It changes it for Nico, obviously, but it probably doesn't change anything for you.
No, it doesn't change much for us. The biggest thing our coaches preach to us is that, we are fast. We are fast. Yeah. But the biggest thing is we're efficient. So, we've kind of got it down to a science, and when we all do our job at a high level, and it works out.
So I think the best example, and I remember talking to you guys about when Coach Heupel got here and you guys learning how fast you had to go. And that was kind of a rough patch. But then you figure it out, and there's one play, and everybody's seen it, that exposed the world to how fast the Tennessee offense runs and can tax even the players themselves. Your current right tackle, I believe he was playing left tackle in the Alabama game a couple years ago.
We talking about Jeremiah Crawford?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Jeremiah.
Yes.
Yeah. He barfed on the field right before play, just right there.
Got it all up out of him for sure.
Did you actually see that or just hear it?
No, I saw it. If you watch the clip, I'm facing right towards him. I didn't react. It's not because I didn't see it. It's just because I wasn't really surprised, and we've all kind of been there. I mean, there were days literally. I remember back in the day, it was so bad transition to the offense. I had thrown up on the ball one play and had to snap it back to Hendo. Hendo, being the pro he is, he didn't skip a beat, so he had a great ball in play.
Does he say something after that?
No. Well, maybe he did. I don't know. It's been a while.
Well, he threw it to somebody too.
Oh yeah. Well, they didn't know.
So you've got this offense down. Now you're running this offense with a new quarterback. What is it like with Nico in there? How differently does it move? I mean, you go Hendon Hooker, Joe Milton, now Nico. What's it like?
Well, I mean, the biggest difference is trying to get him dialed in, and I was kind of telling him today, we had our scrimmage today, and everybody wants the splash plays, everybody sees the big time plays, but it's really the efficient work that we do, moving the chains, getting the first down, and getting a rhythm established. That's the biggest thing. So working on that with him.
Well, and that's the thing about this offense. It seems like everybody remembers the big plays, but when it's really working, it's the 4 and 5 yard gains on the ground, the bubbles that's the guy who's open. You're making a positive play instead of having to deal with the results of a negative play. And it seems like going back to the bowl game, that's something Nico's pretty good at.
No doubt. And it's got to be something we are good at, as a team. And that's where we found success in the past is when you can I know offensive coordinators talk about, play the run off the pass or pass off the run, whatever it is. But, that's when we get our big chunk plays is when we're being efficient, being able to run the football, getting the ball on the perimeter, maybe 6 yards, and then it'll bust open.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about last season for you because it had to be frustrating. You have a hernia surgery in the preseason. You missed some games. You come back. You're playing in pain. What was that like for you?
It was tough. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it wasn't tough, but it wasn't something that I wasn't used to. I think I've always kind of been in a role where I've had to kind of claw my way up and kind of fight through adversity and different stuff to figure out a way to win. And I think, that was kind of right on par with it.
So what was that like when you're out? Because I imagine that you are pretty maniacal watching when you can't be there.
Yeah, it was rough as well. That was probably the hardest part of it. The pain is one thing, and then going through rehab and stuff, that's something. But knowing that you could be helping and then you not being able to, that's the biggest thing that eats away at you.
And when you came back, it felt like the offense did move more efficiently, and which has got to feel good for you, but also you're just frustrated at that point too.
Yeah. You're frustrated, but it's always great when you finally get back out there with your guys and can enjoy the game. It's a beautiful game, and we're lucky to play it. So
well, and you were talking earlier about this being your last year and doing some reflecting. And what was the decision-making process for this to be your last year at Tennessee? Because as we're recording, this pro day is going on. You could have been working out a pro day right now.
Yeah, no doubt. There were a lot of factors that went into it. But kind of what we were talking about, my injury and everything, that I didn't want to end on that kind of note. And then, as well as I do that, scouts love seeing a full healthy season and everything. So that was kind of what I was striving to end on.
Yeah, especially with O-linemen, like they want to see the body. As the college coaches will tell you, I don't ever want to see an O-lineman's highlight tape. Like, it's useless. Give me a full game, full season.
Right.
For the NFL, they need the full season.
Yeah, you need the full season. I think a big thing that everybody wants out of life, no matter what path you're in, is consistency out of the people that they're working with. So you got to be consistent. You got to be there.
Well, and having a brother playing in the NFL, how much did Cade help you as you figure out that decision, having been through the draft process and now having played?
Big time. I take my family's advice, even more than my own sometimes, because a lot of the people that are making the decision, like you said, they've been there, done that. So I looked into it a lot, and my faith played a big part in that as well, kind of figuring that out. And I think I'm at the right spot now.
How much fun is this now when you're with guys that you've played with for a while? Now you have some new folks, but you're in an offense that you've played in for a while. What is it like, fully understanding everything now?
It's big for me. I've done a lot of things well over my time here, but I think the biggest thing that I've done well is kind of played my role in a certain way. Centers, that's got to be the biggest thing that you figure out is where to get in where you fit in and just help people. As well as I do, the center, you're on a combination every time trying to help people out. So I've been trying to play my role as best as possible and figure out ways to help the team.
Well, and the other thing you can do is help these young guys, and like Lance Hurd's a great example. He comes in from LSU. Interesting situation, because I think Lance, given his athletic ability in most places, would already be starting there by now. He wouldn't have transferred, but they've got two really good offensive tackles who happen to be third-year juniors. Like, that's just how it breaks down. And he comes, he's not gotten a chance to really play much, but he's going to be thrust into a pretty big role. How do you help him with that?
I think just guiding him and using my eyes as a way to kind of meet him in the middle and figure out where he needs help, what he needs help with. I'm an older guy, and like you said, he's young, and he's got a lot of stuff to figure out and learn, just like all of us did when we were young. So I think I can help him in a lot of ways, but he's a really humble guy, a good kid, and he kind of understands.
He's a freak.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
yeah,
it's easy to work with a guy like that.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, and then you played with a first rounder in Darnell Wright. What's it like when you know that this guy you're playing with has all of the athletic tools and he's just got to put it together?
I think it all depends on how the kid is, how he is as a person, because there's so many people that have God-given ability and they just don't put it to the right use. And those are two examples of guys that are A, humble, and be trusting of people to help them and help cultivate growth. Like Darnell, he went from, being maybe a mid-round to late-round draft pick in 1 year, flipping sides, and then went first round, which we always all saw that in Darnell.
So you knew he was a better right tackle, and that he was capable of being what he was. But that's how I wonder with him, like, could you guys tell, like, he's just more comfortable on the right side? And
I think the big thing was he actually at that point, he liked left better.
Really?
So my older brother played right tackle, and he was, no question, probably better at right tackle than left tackle. Darnell could flip either way. So
yeah.
Darnell was fine with going to left, but you can probably find like a sound bite from me maybe in 2021. I said that he could be a top 15 pick, no doubt. So
we got a draft evaluator.
I could be.
Of course you could.
We'll see, maybe.
Well, I mean, you basically have to do that as you scout your opponents every week. I mean, you've got the raw materials already, right?
Yeah. I feel like I can help some people.
Do you enjoy like the pre-draft season, like especially now that you've played against a lot of these guys? Is it fun to watch like where they're getting kind of slotted?
It's definitely cool to that part. Yes, you see it competition wise, seeing where you stack up against everybody that, the scouts and everything see, you see first round picks that you play against and you did pretty well against.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you a little bit of validation. And then on the flip side of that, you see people that and you like and love that are going through the same process, that are friends for life, and you see them succeeding too.
So who of the guys that are going out in this year's draft that you've played against, who was the one that you were like, whew, man, I'm glad I don't have to play that guy this year?
Oh, man. From a different team?
Different team, yeah.
Oh, man. That's a good question. I haven't ever thought about that. Shoot, you really got me there.
That's all right. We got time.
The kid, I didn't really play against them personally. The 4-eye that played to the field, number 6 from Mizzou.
Oh yeah,
DeMarcus Robinson. Maybe?
Yeah,
Is that it?
Darius, or yeah,
Is it? I don't know his
Robinson.
name.
Yes,
Robinson. Yes.
He's going to be a very high draft pick.
Yeah, they should draft him pretty high.
He's one that he could have gone out after last year and
Yes,
decided to
he
come
definitely-
back, and he said, "I know I can be better."
And he definitely was.
Yeah,
He definitely.
yeah. That guy was absolutely amazing. So that's the amazing part. I can't imagine like watching the NFL draft or watching NFL games and seeing all these guys that you played against. But it is nice to let you know, okay, the future, I can handle this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest thing. So I played Georgia in 2021 when they had like the best defense or
Yeah.
whatever of all time in college football. I had one of my better games against them. Probably the best game I played all year. That game does huge works for your confidence. There's nothing better than playing against good competition.
Yeah, well, there are only 4 first rounders on that defensive line.
Oh man, it was
including the number 1 overall pick.
it was brutal, man. It was a gauntlet.
That's what I mean. Some of those dudes, because in the middle, I mean, a lot of times it's the guys on the edge, but they had first rounders up the middle.
Yeah, they had
3.
Jalen Carter,
Devontae Wyatt.
Devontae Wyatt was like the first pick of the second round or something, and then Jordan Davis, and then we haven't even talked about all the guys, linebackers
Right.
and DNs alike that'll go first round as well from that
What
team.
does it feel like when Jordan Davis hits you?
Oh, he's strong, man. He's strong. Luckily, that was like the first year of tempo
Mhm.
for us, and nobody in the SEC had played against us, and I think we kind of tired them out a little bit. I had a pretty decent game, but he's a strong dude.
Yeah, that's what I can't even imagine when you get that first rep when he's fresh.
Oh, it's not going to go well for you. You gotta try to make it the duration. Try to get to the long run.
Die slowly.
Yes, that's why I kind of like playing against the super big dudes because you can tire them out.
Yeah.
You might give me the first one or the third play, but I'm going to get you down the stretch.
Well, I feel like that's as a center where sometimes you can't be too proud, because if you've got a snap and you've got a 330-pound guy who's quick as a cat, like you need some help from the guard every once in a while.
For sure. I'll never turn down help. Trust me. I wish I had more.
The snapping piece of it, as you switch from quarterback to quarterback, it's interesting because everybody still, I think people my age still think in an under center world, and the relationship between quarterbacks and centers used to be just much more intimate than it is now. But the shotgun snap, do different quarterbacks prefer it in a different spot? Do you have to kind of adjust how you do it?
I've never really had to adjust. Luckily for me, we've had some pretty tall quarterbacks that have long arms. So
Big target.
yeah, you got a big target. It's pretty hard to miss. So that's been easy for me, but I'm sure down the road there will be something like that.
So you guys come into this season probably expecting some very big things, especially I'd imagine on the offensive line, and getting to play against this defensive line that you have every day. That's as deep as it is. That's as talented as it is. How good can you guys be on both lines of scrimmage this year?
I think really good. I think, probably the teams that you played on, the best O-line and D-lines y'all had were when y'all could both compete at a really high level in practice. So I think that's been huge for us as being able to look at, one of the premier units in college football. It's only going to make us better.
Well, that's what I was thinking about. Even your twos are getting to play against guys who played in the SEC on the D-line. Like, that is pretty invaluable experience in practice.
Yeah, no doubt. And then you add in the fact that there's young guys that are early enrolling and getting in here early and getting opportunities to go against people like that. I mean, there's nothing better than getting thrown in the fire a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and then they've got Coach Garner over there. He's got the cane. He's not slowed down one bit. It's funny because I always remember, at practices, the O-line coach, the D-line coach would get after each other as much as the O-lineman and the D-lineman would. Do Coach Ellerby and Coach Garner ever get after it?
No, they're actually pretty close, I would
Really?
think.
Okay.
In practice, you don't really see them, have any crosswords with each other. But I think they've known each other for a long time, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I think Coach G and him have coached together before.
Okay.
Like back down the line.
So they're just working together to just make things
I think
tough on you guys.
I think they understand the goal here.
And the goal here is,
Man, be the best we can be.
Cooper, thank you.
No doubt. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples on 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.